live session about the Power Platform. My name is Charles Lamanna. I'm joined by Arun Ulog, and we're both talking from our living rooms. When we talk about the Power Platform, one of the main reasons we think professional developers should care is a bunch of broad changes that are happening inside of the market. We can see that over the next 5 years, over 500 million new applications are going to be built, which is more than all the applications built in the last 40 years. At the same time, the demand for mobile applications is growing 5 times faster than a typical IT department can satisfy. And we're seeing that over 85% of organizations are struggling to understand their unstructured data. And on top of all of this, even if you wanted to go out and get more developers, 86% of companies are struggling to hire enough technical talent. All of these things combined are what make Gartner project that by 2024, 65% of application development in the enterprise will be done with low-code tools like the Power Platform from Microsoft. And the Microsoft Power Platform is a single platform that spans Office 365, Dynamics 365, Azure, as well as your custom standalone application needs. It includes Power BI for easy understanding and analysis of your data, Power Apps to go rapidly create web and mobile applications, Power Automate for a simple low-code robotic process automation and workflow automation to technology, and Power Virtual Agents, a low-code way to go build chatbots. All of these together have a bunch of great common cutting functionality like data connectors or the Common Data Service or AI Builder, but it's all a low-code platform that helps you develop faster. And what's really important, and the big point we're making this year at Build, is that the Power Platform is there for every developer. In the past, we talked a lot about citizen developers, business users, business analysts. It's not just about them with the Power Platform. It's also about IT developers and professional developers and coders. All are welcome and all can be more productive to go respond to the increasing demand to create digital experiences in the enterprise. And when we look at how you go about doing that, it's all about chasing that long tail, the thousands of applications, the thousands of chatbots, the thousands of bots that you can never get to in the past, but you can because you can now move so quickly with the low-code capabilities of Power Platform. And that's that light blue section on this Pareto curve. On the left-hand side, there's still a strong need with high sophistication, high value use cases. Keep being code first, stay in Visual Studio, GitHub, VS Code. That's totally okay. But you can actually start to chase all these different applications and all these different development needs by combining Power Platform with your professional developer tools. And that's what we're seeing across the industry. Over 97% of the Fortune 500 is using Power Platform today across all kinds of different industries, across all kinds of different sectors. And one of the biggest things that we're seeing adoption around lately is what we have with Power Automate and its robotic process automation capabilities. This makes it possible to go automate all those legacy Windows applications where there is no API. You can go record mouse clicks and keyboard inputs by using an experience just like recording a meeting in Teams, and then play back that UI automation, either attended to help a human be more productive or unattended on a VM in the background to improve the efficiency of your enterprise, which is more important than ever. Additionally, just like any tool in the Power Platform, it has a great diagnostic and management experience, so you can go quickly understand what went wrong if one of your bots failed, enabling very big deployments in the enterprise. And to go help add to the RPA functionality inside of the Power Platform, we're happy to announce that Microsoft acquired Softomotive. And Softomotive has over 15 years of robotic process automation experience and has a great Windows desktop experience to go author these bots. And the authoring experience inside Windows automation is the same low-code type of experience you're used to inside of the Power Platform and supports all kinds of critical applications like green screen terminals, SAP GUIs, Citrix, you name it, is supported inside the Softomotive. And my favorite part about this announcement is that all of the capabilities are available at no additional cost to existing Power Automate RPA customers. In addition to RPA, Power Apps is the key ingredient how our customers go transform. And there's 3 big announcements that I want to cover today. The first is the introduction of mixed reality inside of Power Apps. You can now drop on a control where you can visualize 3D assets in space and look at them in geospatial locations, all without having to write any code or be an ARKit or MR expert. It just works like all the other parts of the Power Platform. Additionally, for Power Apps inside of Teams, we have a brand new responsive experience. So you can build a Power App that works across both mobile Teams clients as well as desktop Teams clients. And you can also go take the dependency on more Teams context and more Teams capabilities to build a Power App that is native inside of Teams. And the third item, which is one of the most commonly requested features from the expert Power Apps developers, is around being able to go use both Canvas apps as well as model-driven apps inside the Power Apps mobile player. That's now possible. It's completely seamless. So you can use all the great capabilities from both those app types inside a single mobile player to build apps very, very quickly. And supporting the Power Apps is the Common Data Service, the center and the heart of an entire Power Platform architecture, which is an easy way to go store your business data with great security, great authentication, authorization, great business logic, rules, and schema management. But now you can connect to the Common Data Service with the T-SQL protocol. That means you can open SQL Server Management Studio and connect directly to your Common Data Service instance, write complex select statements, joins, group bys, all kinds of advanced capabilities, and it just works. And this is a feature that we built for the professional developers out there that always just wanted to break through the low-code experience and just look directly at the data using a language they know and love, T-SQL, against the Common Data Service, showing that big focus we have across the board to make it better for pro devs on the Power Platform. Additionally, we have Power Virtual Agents. It's the newest addition to the Power Platform. It's low-code chat-based experience to go create those chatbots. Supports dozens of different channels, including Teams, WhatsApp, and a whole host of other ones. So you can go build chatbots without having to be a coding or AI expert and get those deployed to all those different locations. But what's great is that if you want to go for extra extensibility of your Power Virtual Agent, you can call out to Power Automate and trigger workflows, getting access to over 350 data connectors. And you can also write Azure Bot Framework skills and register them to make your bot even more powerful and more capable. And this whole broad set of capabilities in Power Virtual Agent matches everything else you know for the Power Platform. A WYSIWYG design surface, no build, no republish, no recompile, rapid application and digital experience creation. And one of the best ways to see all this stuff, as always, is to go look at a demo. So for today, I want to show a demo from GSK, which is a healthcare company that helps with manufacturing a whole host of things. And they want to go use a Power Platform for a very specific process, something called the Zero Accident Promotion Effort, or ZAP. And what this is all about is when there's safety hazards or dangers, they want to make it so that you can go record them, get them published to a central location, and take action to remove that danger, a big focus on safety. And the way they did that is using Power Apps and the rest of the Power Platform together with pro dev tools. So if I launch from the Power Apps Studio that mobile application, which would work on both Android and iOS, I can also emulate it inside the browser. And you can see I can go look at the zaps nearby. And what's great is I'm using that map control inside of Power Apps to be able to pan and look around and understand exactly where hazards are near to where I am right now. I also have a great gallery view, so I can easily go view all the different zaps that are nearby and even run filters and so on top of it. And I can go, say, click through into one of these items. I get a standard form experience that you need, and you can see more additional information about what this zap is talking about. I can also go to the risk score. And when I look at the risk score, I can go say, what's the severity if this incident were to occur, and what's the likelihood? And if you look, the risk score is being recomputed. And we need to pay attention to the risk score because it's a really important part for the rest of the demo. But if you say, if I go put a high score across the board, it turns red, that has to trigger a whole other process around root cause analysis and deeper inspection. And lastly, whenever there's a zap that's created, GSK has a culture of if you see something, do something. And the whole idea is take an action to mitigate the hazard. And to do that, you can see we have an easy way to go record this. I can do things like raise a help desk ticket and more. So if I exit out, the way that this was built was using that Power Apps Studio experience, very, very rapid app creation. And if I go back to this map and I'll delete it to recreate it, I'll show how you can easily bind together a bunch of different data sources. So if I go over here, go to code component, drop on my map, just like that, I have an interactive map now without having to worry about app keys, worrying about how I wire it up, all powered by Azure Maps behind the scenes. And what's great is I want to wire this up to data I already have inside of the GSK IT landscape. And to do that, I use the SQL connector inside of Power Apps. So if I zoom in over here, we can see I want to connect to a GSK server database windows.net, so an Azure SQL database, and I'm going to be looking at this particular table. And that experience is super easy to wire up. If I just say go resize the map, choose the data source, I can easily wire this all up and actually pull down from Azure SQL in real time right inside of this application. And I'm not done yet. I have to wire up some more fields. But what's really powerful is if I say click here, I can see this Azure SQL table just shows up in that Power Apps formula bar. And I can even go expand this view to look at all the different fields from that Azure SQL database without republishing, recompiling, or having to go anywhere else. It helps me with my productivity at an incredible rate. And if I switch over to the Azure portal for a second, I can see that this is the same Azure SQL server that I'm connected to inside the Power App. And this Azure SQL database is going to make an appearance throughout the entire demo. So switching back over to Power Apps, I'm looking at this table. I now just have to write up a few fields on that map control. So I just grab that Azure SQL table and say grab the items labels field, then go to the same item and go drop on the items latitudes, and then just go do it for longitudes. And all I'm doing is just binding that data using that formula bar in a low-code experience from that Azure SQL database out to this map control. And just like that, I have an interactive map that connects back to Azure SQL without building, without writing code, and without compiling. Incredibly rapid way to go solve their problems. But that's only the first part of the demo. The second part is where AI comes in. And the challenge for GSK is that not everyone has a mobile application or a mobile device and can't run a mobile application. And for those users, when they want to report a zero accident promotion or ZAP, they have to use a piece of paper like this. They fill out this form about where they saw it, what happened. They then do a similar scoring exercise, just like we saw inside the Power App by looking at the severity and likelihood to compute what the actual risk score looks like. And all this information is then entered via an email to a human who then writes it into a system. But there has to be a better way, and it turns out there is, and that's through using AI Builder. So I'm now inside the Power Automate portal, and I'm using the AI Builder feature. And what I've done is I've pre-trained a forms understanding model using something called machine teaching. I just uploaded a few examples, and I was able to generate a model without having to be a data scientist or anything else like that, not a single line of code required. And this model, once generated, allows me to understand all these forms that are run through in the future that follow a similar format. And what's so powerful about this AI Builder model is that it's much more capable than what you would see with standard OCR. It actually understands the format of the form. It knows this is an observer name. It knows this is the function. It even is able to extract via this odd kind of multiplicative representation the severity, likelihood, and risk score. Additionally, it works across multiple pages and even understands the table. So using AI Builder, I can begin to really understand this digital paper. But an AI model on its own isn't super valuable. To use it, I want to use Power Automate, where I have a flow. And in this flow, it triggers whenever a new scanned ZAP document arrives in my inbox. In this case, it's a system inbox. And what happens is for each attachment that's on this email, I want to go make a prediction. And that prediction is done via AI Builder and using that same model that I trained via machine teaching. And when it runs, I want to then insert the paper representation into that same Azure SQL database that I was using inside the Power App. And if we look here, we can see that is the same SQL server that I show in the Azure portal is being connected to and actually calling a stored procedure to insert a ZAP. And that can do all the business logic and so on. So you can write the stored procedure any way you want. And we can see all the fields here actually map back to that digital paper that was being scanned. So this is a great way for parts of the enterprise, or maybe they can't use a mobile app, you can start to transform without having to go completely reimagine the entire system. For the third part of the demo, it has to do with that risk score. So in the case of the risk score, what happens is you actually have to go into a legacy application that looks like this and enter the details if it's above a certain threshold. And this application is dated. It doesn't have an API, it doesn't have a database. Model view controller are all mixed together. For that, that's where UI flows in RPA is so powerful. So if I launch the RPA recorder from Power Automate, I'm able to do this right from inside of my browser, and I'll get an experience just like Teams. You can see right here on the top, click record, launch that application, and I just run through the steps with the parameters that would normally run as part of my UI automation. And in my case, I want to do file new. I want to say grab the incident details, put it right here. We can see the placeholder, something about slippery stairs. I can go grab severity, put it in that field. and maybe go grab the person's email that submitted it and put it inside here. And I won't do all the fields just to save time, but close that out, click done, and I've just recorded a UI flow in real time, which I can now run on a VM in the cloud in the background to fully automate that process. We can see that it captured a left click on the file new. We saw that it actually knew as I clicked on new, and then I put text inputs into these individual text boxes that came from the parameterization of this UI flow. I'm able to do all of this without being a coder or a deep expert on AI or ML, but by using the really advanced capabilities of RPA inside of Power Automate. So now that I have this UI flow defined, I actually have another flow which looks at that same Azure SQL database, that same GSK Server Azure SQL database. And whenever a ZAP is created with a risk score above 8, I want to run this automation. And what this automation is going to do is going to run a UI flow. It's going to run that UI flow that I just recorded. It's going to input all the individual fields from the Azure SQL database into that legacy system. So I've now been able to capture from paper and mobile apps all that information to my SQL database that I want to use for my other web and mobile apps. And I'm even entering it into that legacy system without having to replace it. And for these bots, one of the most common concerns that happens is, what do I do when I have hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of them running in parallel? How do I know when something went wrong? And that's that great debugging experience I talked about earlier in the presentation. We can see each of the individual UI automation steps succeeded, and I can see exactly which one failed. If I click over here, I can get a GIF representation. And what this GIF will do is you can see exactly what was happening leading up to the failure of the UI automation. So even if you have a huge number of bots running, you can quickly find one that failed, quickly understand why to improve your bot, and also take a mitigation step. Really transformative from an efficiency point of view, which is just so critical to all the customers that we talk to right now. And now that we've kind of gone through the RPA piece, there's another really neat part, which is I want to go have a conversational experience to interact with my ZAPs. And to do that, I want my users to use Teams. And you can use Power Virtual Agent to build a very sophisticated chat-based experience. So I can walk up and say, I want to manage my tasks. And what this will do is it'll go call out to my Power Virtual Agent, which actually is going to use the data connectors to, again, talk to the same Azure SQL database. So all throughout all of these different parts of the Power Platform, all wired up to that same SQL database. And I can even go identify the particular ZAP I want to take an action on, and even do it right from inside this adaptive experience inside Teams. And the way I built that was inside the Power Virtual Agent Visual Designer, which is what we're looking at on the right-hand side here. We can see the trigger phrases that will make the bot fire. We can see that I'm using Power Automate to go retrieve the ZAPs from that Azure SQL database. We can see how I have branching and collect information from the user, and even have the ability to go take these actions, which again call out to Power Automates to go run that workflow. And on the left-hand side, I can use something called tracing, which allows me to simulate what a customer would see when they interact with this chatbot in real time. This will actually go update the chatbot visualization on the right-hand side of the screen to show me exactly what it's thinking and what steps it skipped when it runs. Again, making it very easy to build, iterate, and improve your Power Virtual Agent experience. And last but not least, I have a Power BI dashboard, which allows me to visualize all the different ZAPs that have been recorded in that Azure SQL database. And I can use something like the decomposition tree to quickly go slice and dice to understand for a given site what are the main causes or risks. And I can do all of that on top of that database in real time and see all the updates from all the employees around the globe. And it's not just about visualization and analyzing the data. There's even a Power App embedded down here inside this Power BI dashboard, which allows me to take action on a particular ZAP right inside that experience. Kind of across the board, that's what makes a Power Platform so special. It's all low code, it's high productivity. You can get stuff done faster than ever, but it can go integrate and leverage all the developer tools and knowledge that you already have, making it an invaluable tool in your tool belt as a professional developer. For this next section, I'm going to be turning it over to Arun, where he's going to go deep on the Power BI capabilities that you should care about, and also talk about cross-cutting Power Platform investments coming later this year.
Thank you so much, Charles. I'm excited to talk to you here at Build. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking to you about how easy Power BI makes it for developers to work with all of their data and create incredibly rich and immersive experiences so every single user can make better decisions. I'm going to start off by talking about what Power BI is all about. We're really about helping our customers drive a data culture where everyone in the organization can make better decisions based on data. It extends not just to the employees in your organization, but even to your customers, your partners, your suppliers, and if you're a government organization or a nonprofit, your citizens. So let's talk about how we make it happen. We really focus on three things. The first is make it incredibly easy to work with all of your data. We know that your data doesn't just sit neatly in relational databases. We know you have product telemetry, you have human interactions, voice, text, video, etc. Power BI makes it very easy to work with the data and infuse that with intelligence. Second, we enable you to create really rich immersive experiences that are infused with insights from our AI capabilities that make it very easy for everyone to understand what decisions that they need to take. And lastly, we allow you to integrate Power BI into all of your experiences, so the insights are available wherever your users are. So let's start with all of your data. So, Power BI ships with something called Power BI data flows. It allows you to connect to hundreds of different data sources, both on premises and the cloud. It allows you to bring the data into Power BI. It allows you to reshape it with over 300 different transformations to clean it up, to mash it up, and to get it into exactly the shape that you want. Once you have it that way, you can trace the lineage of the data. You can trace exactly all the steps that you performed, where the data came from, how it was transformed, and where it's going to. Because it's built on Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, it's a highly scalable infrastructure that can work with petabytes of data. Now that you have the data in the shape that you want, we make it very easy for you to infuse your data with intelligence. Power BI ships out of the box with automated machine learning and cognitive services. So we provide no-code experiences that allow you to build machine learning models that predict outcomes, even if you're not a data scientist. All you have to do is point and click, and Power BI will build the machine learning model and help you understand what outcomes you're trying to predict. Secondly, we also make it very easy for you to analyze unstructured data, text and images. So if you want to extract key phrases, if you want to detect objects and images, it just works with Power BI. However, if you want to work in code, Power BI is deeply integrated into Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics is the next generation of Azure SQL Data Warehouse. We announced at Build that it's now available in public preview. It provides an integrated development environment where professional developers can ingest data, you can build your data warehouses, you can work with both structured and unstructured data, and you can visualize your data all from a single integrated experience. So please go check it out, because Power BI is integrated with Synapse. It allows both professional developers and low-code developers to work together on a single integrated platform. One of the exciting new capabilities I want to talk about is how we, now that we talked about how Power BI works with all of your data, we're going to talk about how we make these insights available for everyone. Our objective with Power BI is to really make it as simple as PowerPoint for data. So you can create amazing data experiences that are familiar to 1 billion users of Office around the world. In addition to being simple, Power BI allows you to create AI-infused analytics by creating a set of AI visuals that use algorithms behind the scenes, but are focused on business users and business outcomes. For example, if you want to predict what drives customers to keep coming back to your product or service, you can simply use a key influencers visual. It allows you to understand what factors drive the outcome you're looking for through a visual drag and drop experience. Or for example, you can add natural language to your application. You can enable your users to simply interact with your data by asking questions in English. Power BI understands the question being asked and creates the right visualization so you can help your business users understand the data they're looking at. One of the exciting new capabilities we plan to announce later, bring to market later this year, is something called Smart Narratives. So here what Power BI does is, if you have a report, we automatically summarize, we write a textual summary of all the data that's visualized in your report. This is automatically generated by Power BI. It's really compelling because your business users can simply read the text description and understand what's going on. What's really cool is, as your users slice and dice the data, as they look at a particular product or a particular geography, the textual description is dynamically updated. So the Power BI rewrites the text so that the users can understand the slice of the data that they're looking at. Another capability that's really important to our customers is something called custom visuals. Power BI ships with dozens and dozens of visuals out of the box, but sometimes you want to visualize something that is unique to your use case. Because Power BI's visualization stack is completely open, you can build your own custom visual, and it interacts and works with Power BI just like a native visual does. So you can see in this example, Politico in Europe built a custom visual in order to be able to visualize the election results, and they were able to make it available to all of their readers. So we talked about all data, we talked about everyone. So now we're going to talk about how Power BI helps you make every decision. So we know that decisions are not just made in your BI tool. You can deeply integrate Power BI into your application. Every application deals with data, but to provide analytics on the data, developers often have to do a lot of heavy lifting. That's no longer the case with Power BI. You can simply embed Power BI. It's available as Power BI Embedded, which is an Azure service. It provides a rich API surface area, so you can really make Power BI look and feel like a native part of the application. You can control every part of the Power BI experience so that to your users, they just feel like they're using your application, and you can provide incredible analytical capabilities. Second, if you want to make, if you're a SaaS provider and you want to make your data and your analytics available to the hundreds of thousands of Power BI customers and the tens of millions of users, you can build a Power BI template app. The template app will deploy to your users in a single click from App Stores into their Power BI tenant and provide out-of-the-box analytics that allow your customers to understand your data in a way that's seamlessly blended into their Power BI environment. And lastly, because Power BI deeply integrates with Office, with Excel, with Teams, with PowerPoint, and with SharePoint, the applications that you build on Power BI will allow you to reach the massive user base of Office, whether it's in your organization or in your customer's organization. One of the exciting new capabilities we have is integration of Power BI into Jupyter Notebooks. For those of you who work with Jupyter Notebooks, we are bringing Power BI natively into your Jupyter experience. So as you work with your data, you can integrate your analytics right there. You can slice and dice it. You can see how your data looks and feels as you work with it. That's coming later this year. So now I'm going to switch gears and talk about some of the cross-Power Platform investments that make it incredibly easy for you to pull powerful solutions across all of the Power Platform. It starts with connectivity. The Power Platform ships with over 300 connectors that connect to a wide range of on-premise and cloud data sources. If you're connecting to on-premise, all of the Power Platforms share a single integrated data gateway that lives behind your firewall and then allows you to reach safely and securely back into your corporate data. We also make it very, very easy for your professional developers and your citizen developers to collaborate. So if you built an API on any service, we think Azure is the best service, but you can build it anywhere, you can simply register your API with Power Apps, and it creates a custom connector that makes your API available to all the citizen developers that use Power Apps. So it makes it incredibly easy for your professional developers and your citizen developers to collaborate within your organization, really creating an API economy. Although Power Platform provides you high productivity, low code experiences, you're not limited to just using low code. You can drop from Power Platform into all of the professional Azure services. For example, from Power BI, you can call Azure Machine Learning, or from Power Apps, you can call Azure Functions, or from Power Automate, you can call Logic Apps. You really get a seamless productivity experience across both low code and high code. Even as you're using a low-code platform, you don't have to give up all of the application lifecycle management capabilities that you would expect. So, the Power Platform supports full ALM capabilities. It integrates with GitHub and Azure DevOps so that you can manage your process exactly the way you're used to. We have a bunch of exciting capabilities that are shipping across the Power Platform in the next several months. So please check them out. Please stay updated as you continue to start using the Power Platform. And lastly, we have an exciting set of sessions across here at Build that cover every aspect of the Power Platform, but showing you examples of how you can build solutions and how customers are using it. So I would highly encourage you to check out these solutions. We're excited to see you here at Build. Thank you so much for joining us.